Hi Essex, and welcome to our English lesson, which this week has been reading. So this is lesson 3 of the series of 3, the last one. You've done absolutely brilliantly. I really enjoyed today catching up with Emma and Elena. I would definitely recommend that if ever you are at a point of being really quite stuck, do let me know, and either myself or Mrs. Robinson will do our very best to help you either on Dojo or on a live Zoom. So let's crack on today. I'm going to share my screen with you. Picking up the text. Here we go. It's all very familiar now with the introduction. These are the subheadings that were an important part of some of the questions. We're very familiar with the content of those. Culture. So culture is a part of the Greeks I would definitely recommend you have a look into. Under each of the subheadings, the information is put together in paragraphs, and each of the paragraphs have related information. Let's pause and just become re-familiar with that text. Have a read through it and reflect on your progress so far. So today we've got, first of all, we're being asked to use our reading skills to sequence. And this can be absolutely vital sometimes in order to coherently and clearly articulate and communicate with somebody else. You may have to sequence something into a particular order, condense it or simulate it, take something that's quite long and make it a little bit shorter without losing the meaning. And on this one, we've got the rank order, 1 to 5. We're being asked to rank it first to last. Draw a line to identify the order in which the events occur. And these codes here are a handy way of just marking in the text where these points are. Having a look down here, I wonder which of these would you like to start on? This looks really interesting. I might first of all have a look where that is. You could start at the beginning, but I quite like the look of that. Pottery often made in Corinth or Athens. So pottery, go back. So we're looking for pottery. I'm thinking that it's probably not gods. It's probably not famous Greeks or the Olympics. And of course, you'll probably be able to go straight there because you've read this so many times now that you are very, very familiar. Now, culture. So arts and pottery sound like culture. They were famous for their clay pots, which were often made in Corinth or Athens. Now, you would put the code there. So where is that one? Let's go back and double check, and we see that that is the triangle. Oh gosh, boys and girls, let's hope the triangle is a bit better than my pyramid yesterday. Oh, I'm going to do it a little bit bigger. There we go. Now, what that means is that the pyramid or the triangle is next to this piece of information. And if I go through each of them, I'll end up with a series of shapes going down the side, which will then help me decipher the order, because where the shape is, I can decide, where will the triangle be in the order of these shapes. Have a think about that, or use your own method. Have a go, pause the video, please use a ruler there if you're printing out, and if you're not printing out, just write the short phrase, and in the end you can just write the numbers next to that phrase. Over here we're being asked to use our reading skills to look at multiple choice. Now you have a range of options, and it's really very important to refer back to the text. You might think, come on, Mr. Adams, you're saying refer back to the text all the time. But believe me, it's one of the easiest things to forget, because you get really confident and you think, yeah, I can remember this. And that's where little slip-ups come. And as you're trying to perfect a high degree of accuracy, because you want to be not good, you want to be excellent, it's going to be really important that you refer back to the text. We have a look at this question as an example. It says number of people who would travel to see the Olympics. Now, the fact that this is Olympics, I'm fairly confident that it's going to be in the Olympic section. Now, here we go. So here's some numbers, but that one's 3,000 years ago. This one is 50,000 people. Now that looks good. Yeah, the travel, yeah, and it is one of them. Now it says circle them. Now, as it says circle, I'm going to circle it. Any other mark would be okay. So, and if you are not printing it out, and there's no expectation to print it out, all you need to do is write number of people who would travel to see the Olympics, colon 50,000. Please don't feel that you need to copy these out, because that won't be necessary. Pause and have a think about that. This is our last section for this week, find and copy. Find and copy the words for the suggested meaning. We know what we say about find and copy. What does find and copy mean? Yeah, find and copy means find and copy. It's not write down something you wish it was, or you think it was, or you partially remember. So what do you need to do if you're not going to just partially remember? You're going to, quite right, you're going to refer back to the text. Let's do that. Look at the first paragraph. So I know exactly where I'm going. Find and copy a word that suggests the Greeks built beautiful buildings. And in the end, the word is going to go here. So I'm going to the first paragraph and I'm finding and copying. Beautiful buildings. Okay, this is interesting. So I wonder if this counts as the first paragraph. It could well be, couldn't it? Warriors, athletes, artists, architects, politicians, philosophers, politicians, lots of politicians, guys. And more than 2,000 years later, the impact of ancient Greece can still be felt on the modern world. But what was it that has made their legacy and stories live so long? Does that help? Not quite sure. It does mention architecture, but I'm not entirely sure if at that point it's telling me about it. I probably should have expected that, and I'm sure some of you are saying right now, Johnny, you've got your hand up, haven't you? You're not going to find out all the detail in the introduction, and you're quite right. So let's have a look here. We've definitely got temples here. I didn't think it would be in the gods, but now I am proved wrong. Although these could be quite small, others were grand and large. Greeks visited these temples to pray and ask for good fortune and support. Often people brought gifts, money and flowers. I'm wondering if the word is in here. Do you agree with me? Have a pause and have a think about it. Okay. What you need to do then is work carefully through each of these questions. What you can do if you're not printing it is a word that suggests that Greeks built beautiful buildings is, and you could write the word and underline it. There's no expectation to print, but you can do if that's what you would like. So it can feel a little bit different, but hopefully now it's the third lesson, you're really familiar with that. Use your English book and the skills that we've talked about over the last few days. Now, a couple of other things just to mention to you. I have sent out as a PDF the full file of the Greeks, and what you'll find in there is the marks. So you'll find the right answers, and if you like, you can turn that into marks and see how successful you've been. On this slide, there are the spellings. So you've got the spellings for Friday the 8th, that's today, and those spellings will test at the 3:15 check-in. So we're going to need to be quite speedy there. I suggest that we pick randomly 10. On the right are the spellings for next Friday, and that's the first time you've seen those, and you can see in red are the common themes. It's been brilliant these last 3 days. I've really enjoyed going through and reminding you of the key skills. You're getting really good, and my real advice to you is be careful, keep your mind on the reading, do refer back to the text, and don't rely on your memory, particularly on questions that require you to find a copy. It sounds so straightforward, find a copy. Make sure you do the finding. Please make sure you do the copying. Carry on being brilliant. If you've got any questions, you can dojo me and Mrs. Robinson, and I'll see you soon.